Hi, I'm Shaun Landry, and I have had multiple sclerosis since 2008. I was asked to do a questionnaire, so I'm going to have the one person who actually knows just about as much as multiple sclerosis as I do at this point, and that would be my lovely husband, who happens to be at work. So he's going to ask me questions about when I was diagnosed, and inevitably we were diagnosed with MS. So let me just give him a call at work because that's where he is. There it is. He looks nothing like this. He looks like a cross between Benny Hill and Warren Zevon. So there's that. Wait a second. Here we go. Hey, darling, it's me. Hi. So you want to talk about MS with me?
Oh boy.
It is an adventure, isn't it?
It's your adventure.
It is an adventure bar none. We're both actors, and uh, we've been living with this since, or I've been living with it, and you've been living with it since what, 2008?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so that's 7 years.
So, how did you feel when you guys first got the news?
You remember that? I do.
Yeah, for the restaurant we went to.
Yeah, I remember going, my eye going out, and I thought it was a lash that was in my eye, and it wouldn't go away, and then it got worse and worse, and then I went to the eye doctor, and they said, well, there's nothing wrong with your eye, and then I ended up getting a CAT scan, and that's when they told me, that's when Dr. Fox, if you're going to get diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I highly recommend going to a very attractive doctor. His name was Dr. Fox. Oh, it was amazing, and he looked exactly like his last name. And he told me that I had MS, and I remember calling you on the phone and losing it. I lost it. I started crying, and you did what you usually do, Hans, which was
Walk it off.
walk off that MS. You took me to dinner. It's kind of the Animal House theory of living, which is the world doesn't look that good. What do? Road have dinner, road trip. But you took me to dinner, and then that's when we started making plans. Lots of tests and uh, lots of research online. You did a lot of research. You got onto the MS site to do research, and so did I.
He did just tell you that MS. What kind of MS did he say?
He said I had the good MS. The good MS, which immediately made me go, well, I need to do a one-woman show called The Good MS, and how I deal with, this particular situation. I find everything is fun. Everything is joyous and funny. So I did a show called The Good MS, and in improv terms, it was a show where you didn't talk about it. You talked about other things that was joyous. I would get up on stage and say, hi, I'm Shaun Landry, and this is The Good MS. Give me something that is better than multiple sclerosis. And then I would improvise that. And, it was a joyous, fun show. So that's how we found out.
Were you scared?
Yep, I was very scared. It actually went from extremely sad to very scared to fear to anger. I was like, Arr. And with my anger comes wanting to know. So that's when I started doing the research, and that's when I started changing lifestyle and diet, and realized that this wasn't the end of the world. That I can live with this. I can live with having MS and continuing the research and taking care of myself. And 7 years later, I'm still here. I'm still happy. The world is good. And it's not the end of the world when you're diagnosed with MS. It's not. Uh, you can you can live your life and do the things that you love and as an actor still perform and still make people laugh and still make yourself and make us laugh, right? I'm a funny girl, right? I'm a funny girl, right, Hans?
Yeah, you're funny, all right.
Funny looking. By the way, we're doing because we're actors, we are doing the actor studio version of the 10 questions for MS. So here we go. Ask me that again, Hans.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word related to MS is hope.
What is your least favorite word?
Cuttius. If you have multiple sclerosis, there's a lot of wonderful medications that do help that are considered cuttius, and I am absolutely afraid of needles. So the word cuttius always kind of makes me do a shiver shake. But you get used to that.
So what turns you on, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally, living with MS?
Well, what turns me on is being able to live joyously and to combat what I have. My lifestyle has changed so much. How I cook, how I exercise. I've lost a lot of weight just being healthier. I read more, which helps quite a bit. Um, you know that that is something that makes me, artistically talking about it and getting the word out on the idea of taking care of yourself and more research on MS. I think that's and especially doing it artistically. So that has changed with having multiple sclerosis.
So what's your turn-off related to MS?
Turnoffs, the passing out. It's again, you're cooking, your B12 and your vitamin D is low, and all of a sudden it's like having the vapors.
Right, you get the vape.
And I know when it's coming because everything starts to cramp, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got the vape, and it's so it's kind of even our way of me, going, hey Hans, I got the vape. So when that happens, it's not at all joyous, but the idea that you can work around that and that you know when it's going to happen, how to go and manage that and deal with that. And to be honest with you, over the last couple of years, that has happened less. And that's a good thing because it's knowing how to manage the symptoms of MS. So that works out well.
So you've been a Southern Belle left.
I've been a That's right. I would be a perfect casting for any Tennessee Williams play. So it's just at any given moment, it's like, oh my goodness, I have those. So everything is joyous, everything is funny, everything can be made fun of, I think. And if you have the knowledge to do that, just as long as you don't take it if you don't take it seriously, then that's when it affects you. But to make light of a situation that affects you is just is another way of being able to be strong about it too.
So if your disease was a person, what would be your favorite curse word?
If my disease was a person, if multiple sclerosis was a person, my favorite curse word would be because I can't swear on this.
Oh.
So, but just so everybody knows, it would be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what just happened, Hans. because we're comedy people. There's that. Give me another one.
What noise or sound do you love?
What noise or sound do I love? I love the sound of you waking me up and the sound of the kiss that you give me just before you leave, and all the vitamins that I take beforehand that you put on the table. That sound of you saying I love me or I love you.
Well, it's actually me holding the cat up doing that, but
No, you're much better than the cat.
well,
You have opposable thumbs,
I do. I don't know how to use it very well, but
but it works out well for both of us. Yes.
and what sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the pinging sound of the machine of the MRI machine. That pinging sound. It's a lot of people get very scared when they get into enclosed spaces, and when you have MS, you go for a lot of regular CAT scans and all the rest. And so for me to make it joyous, I have made it into a game. At some point during that MS pinging and sound, I realized that the sound jives up directly with the Lion Sleeps Tonight. So I can, with that sound, can basically go a weeba wep, a weeba wep, a weeba wep, a weeba wep, ee, ping, 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 ah. It really works out well. So
So we should get one for the home.
an enclosed, it would replace the sun tanning booth that we have.
Exactly.
So, get rid of the sun tanning booth and just put in the MRI machine. Yeah.
So other than actor, what profession would you like to do?
Outside of actor, and living with this, I think what I would love to be is a researcher. The person who does that research, at places like the University of Washington that is coming up with new research for MS. If I had to choose another profession, it would be that. I think what they're doing is amazing, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So there's that.
And what profession would you never want to try?
I would never want to be the poor woman who has to put that red dye in your veins. Just like, and now I'm going to inject you with red dye. Oh, no. It's like, wow. That is a thankless job. That is every RN has the most amazing and thankless job in the world, and I want to thank them also, but you could not pay me $1 million to do that. So I thank you.
Heaven or Valhalla
Or Buddha,
exists? What do you want to hear God say to you?
or Muhammad, or
Muhammad.
you're right.
Or
Yeah, right. Or Nietzsche. I would like to hear at the pearly gates, thank you for having me find Hans. And when will he be here? That's all. That's what I would ask him. I would just ask him, thank you for bringing me Hans, and when will he be here?
I have penciled in for next week.
Yeah, I have penciled in for next week. He'll be here soon. It's a great thing. So, I think living. What do you think, Hans? Maybe I'm wrong in assuming, or maybe I'm right, because I guess I am living with this. When I was diagnosed, because of who I am, I think one of the last things I ever thought would happen would be being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. That was one of the last things I think we ever thought was going to happen. But now that I am diagnosed with MS, isn't the object always in life is to take everything how it comes, because that's all we can do? Am I wrong in assuming that?
Everybody's different, so they react differently to everything.
Yeah, and I think our reaction has been good. I think the idea is to stay strong, and when I got diagnosed, we were immediately, both of us, we were on it. Were we on it? Oh, we're on this.
Medical research.
medical research, the knowledge, the information at hand to battle this. We're on this. We've been on this for 7 years, right? We own it. And we own it.
And all the natural stuff.
From natural to the amazing work that's done by doctors, to just taking care of yourself. It's made me stronger. It's made me funnier. And it's made me love. I already loved you a million times, but when this happened and your support, it made me love you a million times plus.
Well, you say that now.
I say that now, but wait till later when you get home.
Right.
You know, you look surprisingly like a phone.
I do?
Yeah, you have numbers on you.
I no longer look like George Lucas?
I mentioned earlier you look more like Benny Hill with Warren Zevon, but I guess lately you have been doing the George Lucas thing pretty well.
It's the gray fox look.
You are a sexy gray fox.
Yeah.
How much do I love you? How much do you love me? It's better if you were here and it was visual. Say goodbye, Hans.
Goodbye, Hans.
There.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
That's my MS story.